Hello, everybody. This is Briefcase bringing you the second North American League, or no, I shouldn't say North American League, North American ESP game I'm going to cast today. After this, I'll probably give my throat at least a little bit of a break, but I need to get all that practice in for tomorrow. But nonetheless, a very good game coming out of both teams last time, and interested to see exactly how well this one will go. Getting that first Weaver ban out, not wanting to deal with that very slippery hero who, of course, does transition into a powerhouse late game. Understandably, of course, he is very annoying to go up against pretty much the entire time. So, nonetheless, who's going to Radiant team going to ban out? Hard to say. Of course, you do not need somebody with a lot of lockdown now. They are banning out the Elder Titan. He has been having a heyday recently as like the king of the mid. He has just been having the time of his life. He's basically being played a lot like OD was very recently, and if this ban is not an OD, we might actually see one in this game, which I would love to see. You never see him anymore because he's always first ban material pretty much all the time. But Elder Titan now has been banned out by this Radiant team. The Dire team in response bans out the Bat Rider, of course, seeing how potent he was. He didn't do amazingly last game, but overall was kind of maybe one of the strongest heroes in the last game. But of course, overall, just a very terrifying hero to go up against. He can lane pretty much anywhere. He can off lane if need be. He can not so much run in a try nowadays. Way too difficult for him to really be of use there. He really needs solo experience or farm to get that early flaming lasso and really start commanding team fights and really setting up pretty much every initiation possible. But he can go in the off lane. He can be your mid hero if need be, and also obviously can jungle in a pinch very effectively, assuming that the opposing team doesn't guess that's going to happen and doesn't kind of ban, or I should say ward out pretty much everything available. Radiant team now has banned out Naga Siren. Of course, people realizing now that Elder Titan is so strong mid, and that first rung ban out of Naga Siren or the first turn pickup of Naga Siren has not been the case recently, but now getting banned out nonetheless. She is so strong at setting up pretty much every big team fight ability with that Song of the Siren, and beyond that, overall is just a very strong hero in and of herself. A support, if run that way, has with so much armor she can live through anything. Visage and Nyx Assassin being picked up now by this Radiant team. Of course, two of the strongest supports in the game at this present moment. Gonna take a little bit of a hit from the nerf bat come this next amazing patch, which I'm so excited for, and I'm sure you are all as well. But nonetheless, at this very moment, two very strong supports with pretty much a large slew of various abilities, which they're just so good at doing everything all at once. They're so good at being utility heroes, and they fill so many niche roles all day long. Troll Warlord, though, was picked up by this Dire team. OD is still in the pool if anybody wants him. I have seen Troll Warlord, however, been run as a very effective mid, even against ranged heroes. His bonus, I think, health, is it? I want to say his bonus move speed, of course, very helpful. Bonus, yeah, he does indeed get bonus HP, bonus armor, as well as his extra damage from turning into a melee hero with that Berserker's Rage can make him very difficult to actually deal with. And if you ever do get the upper hand, a simple ranged whirling axes into melee whirling axes is usually enough burst to really make you think twice about what you're doing. Not to mention the mischance from melee whirling axes is just huge. I believe it's 60%. I can't see it from here. I believe it's 60%, and especially in the early game where a lot of your damage comes from right clicks, that is absolutely huge to go up against. Abaddon picked up now as well by the Dire team. Just a very strong support. Needs so little farm to get off the ground and really get chugging along. Maybe gets an urn, gets brown boots, and he's fine. Just fine. Radiant team has banned out Rubik and Crystal Maiden as well, trying to limit exactly what supports this Dire team will have available to them. Of course, this Radiant team coming out on top with their support picks. Visage and Nyx Assassin very strong in and of themselves. The Dire team has banned out Alchemist and Prophet themselves now, trying to limit the amount of, I would say, the movement of this Radiant team. Of course, Prophet very good at split pushing, incredibly annoying to play against, especially unless you have someone who is as mobile as him, if not very close to it. But Alchemist, of course, does pick up a Shadow Blade in a lot of games that he does play, and overall is just a very strong carry, is able to basically get 6-slotted any time of day. Lifestealer now being picked up by this Radiant team, understandably as well. Troll Warlord, he can actually permabash Lifestealer. He's fairly good against him, especially when he uses Berserker, or Battle Trance, I should say, and if he does get lucky with those bashes, can have an okay time against him. But once those Whirling Axes throw out and Lifestealers can just simply rage away from the slow, he is usually doing fine, just fine. So Lifestealer, a very nice pickup, I think, by this Radiant team. They do need a carry, of course. They kind of need maybe a few more cores. Nyx Assassin and Visage actually can be run as cores as well if they need to, but are usually supports nowadays when it comes right down to it. Mirana being picked up by this Dire team, and of course Mirana very good at initiating with that arrow. If you get a lucky, or I should say skilled, shot with that thing, it can be a huge difference in pretty much every team fight, locking one hero out, locking one hero down for a total of, I think it's 5 seconds is the max range stun. It is indeed, and that's very scary. And even on somebody like a Lifestealer, if he's not paying attention and you lock him down for that 5 seconds and pounce on him immediately, that he's not going to have enough time to infest, he's not going to have enough time to enrage. It's going to be very bloody for him.
Reserve time.
A Shadow Fiend now being picked up by this Radiant team as their mid, more likely than not. Not sure how he fares against Troll Warlord. Probably fairly well, assuming that he can get a few last hits in, and at the very least by level 3 he will be Shadow raising for those last hits, and pretty much guaranteeing that he will get the souls he needs to at least be somewhat effective. Troll Warlord, of course, can be fairly strong in the mid with that extra armor, bonus damage, move speed, all of that. But against a purely ranged hero who all he does is do a lot of damage, I think Shadow Fiend comes out on top in this matchup. More likely than not, after level 3, Shadow Fiend will come out on top. As long as he gets those raises and can actually spam them as Troll Warlord comes in running at him with those Whirling Axes, he should be doing none too bad as far as damage is concerned. Vengeful Spirit now being picked up by this Dire team. You do not see her played too often, of course. Swap, a very strong ability, especially when you can combine it with some very good skill shots like Mirana's arrow. Not to mention the fact that you want to get your Venge play up, you want to get a little bit more familiar with her as she gets to use Blink Dagger soon, and everybody knows it's going to be OP as shit. So it's going to be good. I can understand why she's being played. Not to mention the fact that overall, as a hero, I quite enjoy Vengeful. Gives some nice vision with her Wave of Terror, of course. Just has the simplest magic missile stun imaginable. It's just like the quintessential I cast the thing at you and your stun now ability. Has Vengeance Aura as well, however, which of course will make this Troll Warlord all this scarier. And of course Swap, which putting Troll Warlord right next to somebody, that is his one weakness, is that he is not so ranged. He can go into raged form, but it's not going to really be enough. So Shadow Fiend, if he is going against Troll Warlord, it might even be a Mirana or a Venge mid. Not really sure exactly who is going to be going mid. So many of these heroes can play mid fairly effectively. Of course, Troll Warlord, I have seen him there recently. But nonetheless, Vengeful Spirit can go mid, can be used to ganks. And one of those big rules you really want to have as far as when you're picking a mid is you want a hero that can usually make some sort of something happen. He can usually make a gank happen or put some pressure on the other lanes whilst being mid, or can transition and rotate out to actually do something. Troll Warlord, of course, can set up some nice ganks with those slowing axes and the burst he provides. Mirana can throw out arrows and get those leaps in and can go for ganking as well. Vengeful, as soon as she hits 6, that swap is almost a guaranteed kill pretty much every time if you have the coordination under your belt. This Radiant team now has banned out Queen of Pain, seeming like they don't realize that there are quite a few fairly good mid heroes. Of course, Troll Warlord I've usually seen run mid by WizBiz nonetheless, so they need to see that coming. I would have banned Troll Warlord out right away as soon as I saw WizBiz, but now Slark makes another appearance. So happy to see it happen. Oh man, maybe this time he's going to have a little bit of a better time, I must say. And that Beastmaster pick might have been a little bit simply so the other team doesn't get him, because Beastmaster against Lifestealer is a terrific way to shut him down. Lifestealer might actually have a fairly hard time in this game. Of course, people can swap out. Abaddon can basically aphotic shield anybody who does get open wound. Mirana can just basically jump away as well. Slark as well can jump away. So Lifestealer might have a hard time actually chasing people, and he's really going to need the stuns and slows of his teammates to make those 5-man fights worth his while. Beastmaster, though, is a nice pickup. However, of course, Troll Warlord will invariably getting that BKB pretty much without fail every single time. If there's even one stun on the opposing team, Troll Warlord's going to get a BKB. And having somebody who can stop BKBs with their ult is just so strong. So now, let's go into the introductions. You have Your Mother playing as Slark with his little Finn Fro. I should not say Fro, with his little Finn Hawk, and it looks great when it's actually on the hero, but in the portrait it looks a little weird. It looks like a little bit of a horn because you can't see all of it. WizBiz as the Troll Warlord is actually not going mid. Of course, Slark will be taking that spot, it seems. Cubes 4 as the Abaddon. Different ways now as Vengeful Spirit. And we have our off lane Tafla once again. EMCD now going bottom lane as well. Looks like Tafla and EMCD constantly fighting between each other. EMCD as the Lifestealer, though, like I was saying. Oddnob playing as the Nyx Assassin. Splendid Daddy going mid as Shadow Fiend. Dakra going as Visage Bot. And we have Final going up top as the off lane. Beastmaster maybe going to be wanting to do a few pulls. Going to be seeing how it's go. But it's try versus solo. It's try versus solo as well. And in these solos, I mean, this is a pretty scary tri lane on this bottom. You have your stun from Nyx Assassin. As long as Mirana leaps, it might go a little bit better for him. But this is a absolute, I wouldn't say terrifying. This is more of a defensive tri lane up here. They're going to let WizBiz farm all day long. Abaddon does not have a snare, of course, but different ways is stun, along with WizBiz's whirling axes, might be enough, basically at level 2, to guarantee pretty much every single kill. And now it looks like both Cubes 4 as well as different ways are going to be rotating down mid. Maybe put a little bit of pressure on him early. Make sure that Shadow Fiend doesn't get the souls that he so sorely needs to be useful. Looks like Slark is going to be rushing that bottle as well. And basically realizing that this tri-lane is completely unnecessary against this Beastmaster up top. WizBiz alone will be a huge nuisance for him with just the simple threat of double axes. Or not double axes. Oh yeah, no, with double axes. I was thinking of Beastmaster's double axes. My bad. It's axe versus axe up top, though. And now it looks like they are trying to make a move on Splendid Daddy. Oh, a pounce just barely hitting him. And will he fall? I don't see how he's getting out of this one. Can they get a nice body block, however? Your Mother is chasing. The tower is going for different ways, though. It's not going for Your Mother. He needs to get pounce off again. And Splendid Daddy narrowly escaping with his life. Would have gone completely the other way if that tower had actually targeted Your Mother. And Splendid Daddy does use up some of his regen. Your Mother, though, has to use pretty much all of his as well. And WizBiz being able to completely zone out Final. He is getting a lot of experience, however. And that's exactly what you want as Beastmaster. As soon as you can hit level 6, you can start setting up those big scary ganks. And you should be fine, just fine. Looks like Tafla going bot has zero last hits, does have a couple of denies, but 4 denies going against him already at the very least. He is not going to be getting the farm he wants, and now they have rotated bot. It is try versus try. Final getting caught out. Looks like they are throwing some axes at each other. Not going to be enough, however. He needs to be really careful here. If WizBiz gets another whirling axes out, Final might fall. Oh, excuse me. I don't have any water. I became ill prepared for this one. Oddnob now. Looks like he wants to indeed pull. They have de-warded this, if indeed that did get warded initially. Not sure if it did. Not 100%. Wasn't paying attention. Different ways now. Looks like he was way overextended. It might have been a bit of lag if EMCD now had done a nice open wounds, but of course the rest of his support's not there to actually back him up in that one. He is maybe going to get this denied. Different ways. Turn around. Mirana, turn around. Get that last hit. There it is. Nice indeed. Splendid Daddy, though, getting harassed by Your Mother mid, and with that bottle, he's going to be able to pounce pretty much all day long whenever he wants, and he needs to be able to get this ward vision. He does have this rune control, however, so he's going to be fine. Looks like Final. He is wanting to go to the secret shop. Maybe a bit of a misplay. You need to be very careful with WizBiz here, and not sure what that was. He could have harassed him way more there. A little bit interesting. Now looks like different ways, and Cubes 4 as well as Tafla all here to try and deny these creep waves, does get the last hit. Can they get these other ones? If you leave these two, that is a huge pain in these supports' asses when it comes right down to it. EMCD, though, is being able to farm. He's up to 8 last hits. Looks like Splendid Daddy playing very cautiously. He does have just enough money for a bottle. There it is. He's just waiting to get it. Does not want to go back. And Slark needs to go up and get this haste rune and make some use of it. If he pops that, gets back up to full, and he should be able to be fine here. He needs to be actually a little bit careful now that Splendid Daddy is going to be getting this bottle now. He needs to be fairly careful. He needs to stay way back. WizBiz was getting harassed by some axes, and now his flask, or I should say salve, is getting popped. Not going to be the end of the world, however, because it had already done pretty much its whole job. Splendid Daddy has his bottle, though. Your mother has to go for this rune, and now he will get that haste rune. It's going to provide him a lot of regen for himself. Now everybody just playing fairly cautiously. Of course, WizBiz trying to harass as best he can. He's taking a tower shot for that one hit. It is not a good trade. Of course, Tafla pretty much impossible to kill with this lineup. With only one stun at their disposal, you really need at least 2. Looks like Different Ways is scouting out these runes for your mother. He has a haste. He does have his bottle up. He now does have DD now as well. And they're going to try and make something happen with it. But of course, being scouted out by this ward, Different Ways is going to be, if anything, caught out. Unless Splendid Daddy has been having his head in the clouds, he should be knowing that this is going to happen. Now it looks like we do have Oddnob rotating mid. It looks like want to set up a counter gank here, if anything. Different Ways still has not gone home, and they know that. They see that coming. And now Different Ways is here. Oddnob knows that he's here as well. He's going to throw down an Impale whenever he can. A pounce going on Splendid Daddy, though. And will that be enough? Does get it with the double damage. Different Ways does make it out as well. Nope, Impale going down on Different Ways while he was actually in tower range. And there's the first blood by Slark. Of course, still has all his bottle charges in the world, and with double damage, that is the I win rune in the mid lane, guaranteeing you get pretty much every last hit. But really, Slark actually has amazingly good base damage. It's something like 60 at the very beginning compared to Shadow Fiend's like 49 or something. So he's having a pretty alright time as well. Now looks like this tri-lane, it looks like Different Ways is being caught out. He is going to get impaled. Can he do it enough? No, Oddnob not being a bit too cautious here. Is he going to land? It does land. Oddnob, though, getting a huge arrow to the face. Miscoil, it is not enough. Looks like a misclick did damage to EMCD instead of actually healing his compadre. And now Slark has hit level 60. He's rotating bot. Dakra is going to get caught out here. If there is a pounce, I mean, these creeps are going to do a lot of damage here. Shadow Dance is here. Impale does hit him, but he is regenerating all the health in the world. He has a Photic Shield on as well. If he can get one more pounce, he should be fine. He's just waiting for that Spike Carapace. He is going to get Oddnob as well. And this is the start of a Slark snowball. WizBiz, however, is farming his little heart out up top with 27 last hits. This little boar trying to do his best just as a distraction, but WizBiz is doing great on his own. And now with this Morbid Mask, he's going to be able to pretty much be not at max health, but he's going to sit around 500 pretty much all day. And Slark now with complete and utter rune control. What are you going to pick up? Picks up his Orb of Venom, making him all that much better at ganking as little bit as he can. Oddnob needs to be very cautious here. He has not hit level 6 yet. Splendid Daddy has been farming mid, though. Well, you have Slark ganking, and who comes out on top of D? Indeed, it is Slark. No fooling, he is doing well. And, of course, having very nice rune control by these supports, but now it looks like there is a gank being set up. Oddnob, no. In fact, just throwing down an Observer. They don't really have the stuns available to ever take out Tafla. Different Ways, of course, can stun in response, and you can't really kill anybody down here because Abaddon exists, and simply throwing out an Aphotic Shield to stop any one of these stuns will be enough. Final, though, does hit level 6, instantly ports bot, and they're going to want to get at least one pick off with this shout. If they can hit Cubes 4 right here, that's going to be the end of him. But no, everybody realizing that they can Rodite out. Tafla wants to run away, wants to get that leaf. They do get the stun off on Cubes, but he's so close to his tower. Will he fall? Soul Assumption might be enough. Aphotic Shield just barely making him live. One hit, it's enough. He salves up. Drakra's gonna get the last hit, though. Actually denies himself and gets the kill before he dies. Amazing play there. Nice by Cubes 4. Oddnob, is he gonna fall? One last hit. It is gonna be enough. And now this Dire team coming out way ahead. EMCD, though, has to be careful. A pounce miss now by your mother. Has to be careful, of course. when a lifestealer is cornered, he can be very, very scary. With only ever 1 point in Essence Shift, he needs to be pretty terrified of this. Slightly out of range, and you do not want to get into a juke war with Slark. Whenever you don't see him, he's regenning that HP. And now, realizing the EMCD must be out here, he is going back out. EMCD does not have the mana to live through this. Slark, though, can always Shadow Dance. EMCD needs to be careful. The longest arrow in the world at max. Just huge. Dakra now just feeding this Slark all day long. In different ways, has to run away now. He doesn't even have brown boots. He's so slow. Your mother, of course, can be running around all day long. Aldnob now still not level 6. He has to realize he is in a perilous position. Spiked Carapace used slightly after. Whirling Axe is not going to be enough. And your mother now starting to snowball out of control. Uses his magic wand. It's not going to be enough, though. Will this boar be able to slow him? A Photic Shield is on him as well. There is a Pounce doing quite enough damage to final. If he wants to fight this, a Photic's going to be doing a lot, and now cannot deny himself with this boar. Of course, while Slark is indeed farming kills, he is 4 already, 3 assists. Abaddon even, support Abaddon with 2 kills. This Tafla with 3, I mean, Slark is going to be doing great. He has not been able to farm mid pretty much all game like Splendid Daddy has, but of course because of those kills, because of those assists, he's sitting at a nice 1100 gold lead over his mid counterpart. And now looks like your mother might be finding EMCD caught out a little bit unawares. Does not actually level Infest as of yet. Might want to put in that point. Does not quite have enough now. Your mother just trying to Essence Shift all day long. Does not have enough mana to pounce. However, that might have gone a little bit differently for him if he had. But of course, now back up to full HP so quickly. He's just having the time of his life. Now it looks like Visage Dakra might be caught out here. Of course, different ways as well as Cubes 4 are here. They don't actually know that he's here as of yet. They do now, though, because of that ward. And now some engagements going on. Your mother now, Splendid Dad getting caught out. Gets pounced, gets stunned. Gets Whirling Axed, indeed. WizBiz also opting to use Battle Trance. And you need to think that once Slark has Essence Shift at least a little bit more up, a few more points into it, even level 1 is none too bad. Whenever you see your Slark pounce on somebody and you Battle Trance up, he's just going to be doing so much damage. He's going to be stealing so many stats. It's going to be obscene. And now he does pick up a Drum of Endurance of his very own. He has 3 points now in Dark Pact. That's really going to increase his farm. And that's an actually very strong ability for doing so. About 300 AoE damage to creeps. It is just astoundingly damageful. Damageful? That's a word, right? Pretty sure. Now he has gone all the way to full regen, popped that regen rune, of course. He's just waiting to get that drums. And now looks like this tri-lane rotated top and going for that easy kill on Oddnob, and he can just not find the experience to get to level 6. If we look at the net worths, once again, the top 3 spots being owned by a single team, and this is when you know things are really not going your way. When your carry, your hardest carry in the game, your EMCD Lifestealer, is actually only basically 150 gold ahead of support Abaddon, you know that something is not going well. Now looks like WizBiz with the Photic Shield. Looks like he wants to run in. Is getting a nice slow on Splendid Daddy. They are going to chase this. Your mother, of course, can run in. Does get impaled and screamed at as well. Nice little swap there by different ways. Just making sure WizBiz lives. Dakra, though, has to be careful. Soul Assumption is going to be able to fly fairly shortly. Does not have the mana, actually. Is clarity up so that maybe he can get a last shot with him. But now his souls are all gone. And throwing out some nice slows. But it is not enough to just to make sure that Venge lives. Your mother picking up a nice kill. He needs to be able to pounce away. There is no stun available yet. Oddnob does not quite have the mana, not able to body block in time, and just the synergy from this team is astounding. Mirana's ult along with Slark, absolutely terrific. Can Mirana now body block? No, is opting to actually just go for those kills. That's a-okay. They want to chase this. Can WizBiz get a Whirling Axes in time? Your mother actually lands the pounce. Splendid Daddy falling as well. Would not surprise me if this disheartens this Radiant team enough to make him say GG. But just the synergy coming out from this Dire team, these are some very lovely picks. And now Cubes 4 tanking this tower, trying to get back up to full HP. Not exactly going to work perfectly. Nonetheless, very, very nice. But the synergy here, guys, this is astounding. You can basically say Abaddon synergizes with anybody that can dive. So, of course, with Troll Warlord, he's terrific. Even with, when you think about it, with Vengeful Spirit, you put an Aphotic Shield on Venge, get her to swap, she might actually live through it. And that is pretty astounding in and of itself. At the very least, it's going to be a 200 damage nuke on the entire lineup once they try to burst her down. Having a Aphotic Shield, of course, on Slark as well. Very, very good at setting up those ganks. Very, very good at diving in and of his own. Misses the pounce, does get stunned all day long. Sentry down, can't quite get out of the range. And now, of course, that snowball not going to be moving down the cliff quite as fast. That's right, your mother. New patch, you would indeed live. Yes, that's right. Tafla, though, already has his Yasha, none too bad, only at 14 minutes. And doing pretty well as far as a Mirana. Sitting at 5,500. Looks like Roshan being picked up by the Troll Warlord along with this different ways, throwing out those stuns and just a little bit of nice negative armor there. -5 indeed. Will make him fall fairly quickly. It's almost a Medallion of Courage. And Tafla, pretty much fine all day. Oddnob has hit level 7, might be able to set up a Vendetta gank here, but is actually just running in willy-nilly, giving Tafla all the time in the world to actually run. And now it looks like they want to set up a counter gank. If they can throw out a very nice arrow, this is when you toss it out, when you know this creep's going to die. But didn't die quite fast enough. Different ways running in with the haste rune. Wants to get the swap. There's nobody there, however. Not sure how he felt about that. A little bit of miscommunication, and that is a free Vengeful Spirit. Looks like your mother was indeed trying to get in there and make a little bit of something happen. Oh, a nice arrow, though, falling on Dakra. Your mother getting that easy kill now as well. Splendid Daddy, all the sentries in the world being able to get him down. And once again, might have actually lived there. But while this engagements are happening, not going too well for this dire team, you have WizBiz not only farming. Oh yeah, no, in the new patch, he still would have died there. Whirling Axes still would have definitely would have killed him. Whirling Axes still would have gotcha. But like I was saying, WizBiz just farming up his little heart out and pretty much just killing towers left, right, and center. I should say left only, really. Now, if we look at these graphs, for the first time this game, you see that Dire team having a 12,000 gold advantage. Going to be close in the experience as well. Most things are indeed going their way. And once again, I just have to stress the synergy of this team. Even just Mirana ult combined with Slark ult, that alone is very impressive, very nice. And it looks like Mirana just completely forgetting that her Yasha exists in her inventory. Yes, it's inventory. I swear to God. Splendid Daddy, though, has gotten back up to his full souls. He's doing none too bad here. Now looks like your mother finding an EMCD, and he is going to get stunned out, but nicely enough, not long enough, and now that is an Aegis down. Your mother thinking he can overcompensate, but there's that sentry. Dakra needs to get out of there. WizBiz, I'm sure, really wanted to fight this. Pops the BKB, oddly. There's no one around to really help him right now. Mirana is not here. The rest of this team, of this Radiant team, is here. Wanted to maybe get, if he had actually run straight at Dakra, pop that BKB, he might have been able to actually Whirling Axes, throw it out, and then TP away if he had it, which he didn't. So overall, though, that's going to make at least a little bit of a dent in these graphs for this Radiant team. It's not quite over yet when it comes right down to it. Of course, Shadow Fiend, even without a lot of farm, is going to be hitting like a truck. And now that Slark has basically given up on his advantage, he was a snowball, he was barreling down the mountain, collecting a lot of snow. He's now, if anything, just a regular snowball. He's had a pretty good game, but he is not brokenly farmed as of yet. I mean, still only hitting for 93 compared to Splendid Daddy's 170. So, I mean, still scary, but not the scariest. And, I mean, once you get more in Essence Shift, he might be able to contribute at least a little bit more in these sustained team fights. But every single time they even see a Slark or even think that he's around, even smell a Slark, And now Slark needs to know that something is up. His ult is not happening anymore. He needs to be able to run away from this and realize that, yes, there is indeed a vendetted Nyx assassin there. And now Oddnob playing a little bit of chicken. He wants to run in. He wants to pop this Dear Mother. Looks like he's just trying to see if there was indeed an Oddnob around. Was not able to catch him, though. If he had, that might have been a dead Oddnob. Of course, Spike Carapace would have guaranteed him a little bit of a way out. But nonetheless, Your Mother running around. Doing fine, just looking for wards, using his ult very effectively. You do have WizBiz, however, getting those last hits of the 115, getting that net worth even higher, and now, with all the farm, the flash farm, in fact, that Splendid Daddy, as Shadow Fiend can get, Your Mother is falling ever so slightly behind. Never mind, he's doing fine. Just getting that kill, and now he has a gem, and he is going to be able to basically find every ward imaginable. So any single time they pop down a sentry, if he has Dark Pact going, he's going to be running straight at it, trying to kill it in as quickly as humanly possible. And now Dakra being completely out of position. It's going to be a guaranteed and free kill. And they might even get one familiar. Are they going to get two? Throwing down one stun, going down on different ways. It's not going to be enough. Shadow Rays into nobody. Not the end of the world. Final throwing out an arrow. Just trying to guess if Final is going to dodge left or right. But now it looks like Your Mother is running in, trying to pick up this easy final kill, and not sure if the Radiant team actually saw that Mirana ult being used. And kills it in time. Good job on this Slark, getting those last hits as best he can, making good use of his abilities, trying to guarantee that farm of his. As long as he's ahead of Shadow Fiend, he's happy. Different ways. Also has a Medallion of Courage now, along with that Wave of Terror. That's actually negative 11 armor. And that's pretty terrifying. That is almost a level 2 amplified damage. And that's none too bad. Considering that we're still pretty much in the mid game. We're only at 20 minutes in. Now Your Mother finding Oddnob. But of course, Spike Carapace absolutely useless against Dark Pact. The first little bit of damage will actually proc it, but the rest of it is just going to cleanse him of that stun. So he's going to be fine, just fine. WizBiz pops his BKB, going into Splendid Daddy. EMCD, though, did get caught out as well. And now, that is a 4-0, as well as a boar. Couple of sentries as well. Can Your Mother find Final? He is chasing him down. He is revealed now. Can he land this pounce? Final trying to bait him out. Oh, does wonderfully. Has Roar available still, but gets swapped out. Is he going to be able to get away? Can't quite Roar yet. And does stunned, and that's it. That's going to be, at the very least, this tier 2, maybe even this tier 3. Oh, baby, who's being my stats, man? Who's doing that? Oh, Turbo, baby, I never thought you could.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, baby, you better keep that up. That was wonderful, completely unexpected. Oh, that's what we need. Oh. Getting a little flustered here, guys. It's getting a little hot in my apartment, I gotta say. Whew. Oh man, so getting a nice middle tower there, this Dire team. Whew. And now it looks like they just want to rotate bot, maybe get the second one. At the very least, Tafla does. Has a Mjolnir now, I should say Maelstrom. Has his Yasha, gonna be so hard to actually track down. Has 433 movement, all on his very own after using a leap. And nothing's gonna really rival that except maybe a Slark. Sitting at 504, looking lovely. Oh man, seeing that. Oh, I can't even get over. There it is. There's the fuck your bird. Yeah. Seeing that Hawk. Using Dark Pact very, very nicely. Abaddon. There it is. Birds suck. Arcane Boots now. Your Mother really wants that mana just a little bit. It's going to let him do his full combo. And then just Shadow Dance away. But they get the tier 2. They don't need to push it, of course. Realizing that they're more than happy to just farm into this late game. Realizing that they have, at the very least, Troll Warlord, a very strong carry. Slark has been doing very well all game. He's pretty much a carry now anyways. And Tafla is actually just getting pretty much all the farm he ever needs as well. Pretty much has a Mjolnir already. So now really transitioning these heroes into their late game stages, into their third stage of evolution, if you will, if we want to go in Pokemon terms. You got your Tafla. I wouldn't say a Charizard. A little bit more defensive. Maybe a Blastoise as the Tafla. But you have your Whizbiz. You have your Troll Warlord. He is a Charizard if I've ever seen one. Super fast at attacking. Doesn't quite fly. If we had a bat, I'd probably name him just simply because of how similar he is. But nonetheless. And then you got your Slark. He's definitely not a Venusaur. Maybe a Raichu, this Slark. Maybe he's Ash's Pikachu. I think so. If we're gonna go in for these Pokemon analogies. And now Oddnob running in. He does have an Infest Bomb available, though can't stun him. Just jumps away and now pops the ult. Do they have sentries available? Only one on Oddnob, and that is a failed gank now. Now, you have your mother running in, realizing that Oddnob can't do a damn thing. Is he going to get 2? EMCD, though, he's stealing so much agility here. And he's already up to plus 44. He wants EMCD all day long. Does indeed get it. And, of course, Infest was on cooldown there because he was inside of Nick's Assassin, and now getting both familiars as well. Was not able to actually bring him out fast enough, and Tafla getting those easy familiars. Now has Mjolnir as well, making him even pretty much as terrifying as the carry on the Radiant team. That is not what you want to see happen. A nice arrow into jump, getting a nice kill on Dakra. That last arrow just doing its job. Final is here, however. He is going to fall to your mother. Can't quite get away, and just look how fast he is attacking. 0.41 attacks per second, 0.73 now, however, sadly. And he's got to run. He's got a BKB up. Does Dark Pack? Can they see him here? No, he is getting... Oh, there's the sentry. He wants to kill it. Can't quite do it. He is getting a lot of kills. Gem of True Sight now falling. Abaddon can pick it up. Does indeed. He wants to Aphotic Shield before he gets in the tower range. Is he going to be able to live through this? Oh, one last hit. And now EMCD cannot chase him fast enough. He wants to phase into him. He wants to get at him. Is going to be able to heal up a little bit, but open wounds is indeed coming. He's got to save a Aphotic Shield. And now, because of that, I don't see EMCD closing this gap. And Cube's Power does indeed get away with that gem. Still, though, no tier 3s. No tier 3s fallen, no barracks fallen. This is still anyone's game despite this 20,000 gold and experience difference. Whizbiz really does want this butterfly before they get into these next engagements, understandably so. And with how much damage and how quick Slark was attacking under battle trance, that is absolutely terrifying. 0.4 second or 0.4 attacks per second. Oh, baby. Oh, man, even come up with clever titles. Feed me more, don't feed the trolls. I get it. Oh, man. Turbo, you are on this shit. I'm into this. Now looks like picking up an easy, completely uncontested Roche. All of the negative armor in the world will make this fall so quickly, not to mention a battle trance as well. Picking up that nice Aegis, and now that he does indeed have his butterfly coming to him, he has Aegis. Troll's effective HP is just gonna skyrocket with that, what, 35% evasion is indeed. He's gonna have pretty much, I'm not sure if it's a straight 35% more, but nonetheless, gonna be doing fine, just fine. Looks like Whizbiz, no, doesn't need it. Is it gonna go to Slark? He still has his bottle available if he needs to, but no, it looks like Vengeful Spirit, different ways, just gonna pick it up, but they have the Aegis. Whizbiz has just finished up his next big item. Your mother does not quite have a basher yet, I don't think. Wouldn't mind to see him get one, of course. With Battle Trance on him, he's pretty much a troll when it comes right down to it. But now, they have used Mirana ult. Looks like Splendid Daddy doesn't know that he's here. Gets the pop off on Final. Pops the BKB. Final needs his Roram. Does get it off barely in time, though. And that is not going to be doing enough. Requiem Soul's not enough damage. 2 for nothing already. No, 2 for Mirana. It's not going to be fast enough, though. Whizbiz is running in. Oddnob can't quite do enough. These familiars, though, falling so quickly. Different ways. Of course, throwing that magic missile at the familiars. It's not going to be enough. Your mother back with his splendid gem of his. And he is just going to be dewarding as best he can. Still opting not to attack this tower as of yet. There are no creeps here, so that backdoor protection is very hard to get through. But with Battle Trance, it's actually possible. They already got it down to half health. Look how fast your mother is attacking. Has only 6 stacks of Essence Shift, oddly enough. Would have expected that to be much higher with how fast he can actually attack. Nonetheless, it looks like this might be, and for all intents and purposes, will be at least 1 melee racks down. Different ways being caught out by EMCD, though, does indeed swap out Tafla, who simply leaps away. It's almost a Blink Dagger. WizBiz wants to keep fighting this. He has Battle Fury available. Or I shouldn't say Butterfly. He has Black and Bar available. Butterfly, of course, doing its job. And now, just giving up 3 kills for nothing. The buybacks are not there. They're not available for anyone. Now, Splendid Daddy is going to fall as well. Will Final get away? Does not look like it does indeed fall. And that's got to be the GG here. There it is by Final, saying it already. GG, well played, 28 minutes, very nice play, lovely synergy by this Dire team. And there's the Ancient, just giving up at the last second. Ha 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 ha, your mother. Oh yes, so Turbo, that was absolutely lovely, love to see it again. This has been Briefcase bringing you another ESP North American game. Oh baby, was that ever nice.